Hey everyone, this is Daniel, physio and coach from Evidence-Based Strength. It's been a while since I made a video. I have some free time, so I would like to use it to share a little bit of wisdom about like losing body fat and body recomposition. I personally have been in a weight loss and a fat loss journey for a couple of years already. I've managed to lose over 40 kilos of fat, maybe like 90 pounds or so. So I have a lot of stuff that can be plenty useful for people who are like struggling to lose weight and stuff like this. So what I would say first is that fixating on your weight, especially at first, can be very detrimental. So I would instead try to bring my focus to some other metric. So for example, if you are doing a calorie deficit and you're like 500 calorie deficit or something like that, you can expect like a pound of body fat loss for every week. But sometimes your body weight can fluctuate two kilos or like 4 or 5 pounds in a day, depending on how much salt you eat, on how much water you have, if you train or not, you sweat or not, all this, like your water balance, your glycogen stores, everything like that. So sometimes fixating on these small numbers can be really, really frustrating, because even your stomach content, like if you eat a lot of fiber, that's gonna be like in your stomach. So basically, I wouldn't fixate on that number. I would set up some sort of like tracking tool. For example, you can track your average weight loss. So you measure your weight every day. You weigh yourself every day. Some people think it's not healthy. It was for me. I don't know, but you weigh yourself every day. You weigh in, you register that, and you get an average of that, a weekly average, and you put them on a graph, and you see how the bar is moving, if it's actually moving or not. Because sometimes you can think that the weight loss is like, you see just up and down, and you don't really see that it's actually trending down in the long term. So that's a good idea that I would implement. And the other one is like, just go for the low hanging fruit, like the really easy to make changes. For example, one thing that I was doing when I was really fat is I was ordering Uber Eats and like things like that, like DoorDash, all this kind of stuff, every single day. I was wasting money. I was eating like garbage, just fat foods, like very high calorie foods, like very hyper palatable. I was pretty much addicted to food at that point. I didn't even think about it. I would eat a family pizza by myself for lunch, and then a burger for dinner, and I would drink a 3-liter bottle of Coke or something like that, which is like insane. I was eating like 5,000 calories or something like that. So it's just making this small change of like, instead of ordering like Uber Eats 2 times a day or 1 time a day, I started doing like once or twice a week, if so. That immediately reduced my caloric intake so much. And changing to like sugar-free Diet Coke and stuff like that immediately as well cut so many calories out of my diet. And I already went from like 5,000 calories to like 3,000 or something like that, which is like, at the time, was close to my maintenance. So I was like, I stopped gaining weight. I think it was maybe like 500 calories under my maintenance. Maybe my maintenance would have been like 3,500 or something like that. So I already started losing weight. But another thing that I would like to discuss is that sometimes losing weight can also be like a losing battle, because that's not really your goal, right? Your goal is to lose fat, not weight. So if you already start resistance training, and this is what people like get confused a little bit, because they think that if you do cardio, because they sell you cardio or fasted cardio and this kind of bullshit, if you do cardio, you're gonna burn fat. But at the end of the day, it's an energy balance thing. So it doesn't matter if you go and do fasted low intensity cardio for an hour and you burn, I don't know, 300 calories of fat or something like that, or 250 calories of fat, versus you go in and you do 15-20 minutes of a little higher intensity cardio, and you burn sugar instead. You burn glycogen, you burn like glucose, um, and maybe you burn less calories. You burn 150, right? So you would think that the person that did low intensity cardio burned more fat, and the other one just burned like the sugar on his bloodstream or something like this. But that's not how it works. Like, if you burn your glycogen from your muscles, you still have to like use more glucose to fill those stores of glycogen. So that is calories that would not go into your fat stores, and that will go into your glycogen stores. So it doesn't really matter where it, like, if it comes from fat or if it comes from glycogen, it doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, if you're in a calorie deficit, you're gonna lose fat from your fat stores anyway, right? Because you need the energy. So this is where lifting weights, even though they always tell you, like, if you lift weights, you're gonna get more muscle, and that will make your weight go up because muscle is denser and heavier than fat, right? And it's kind of true. But if you maintain a certain caloric intake and you just gravitate towards more protein dense foods, then you're gonna maintain certain body weight, and you're gonna have body recomposition. Especially if if you're new to this, you will lose fat, and you will use this energy from fat to build muscle, right? And you will use the protein from your diet to build muscle. So the thing is that fat is very calorie dense, right? There's for a kilo of fat, there's like 7,000 calories or something like that. And for a kilo of muscle, there's like just let's say like 30% or something like that of actual like contractile tissue and like protein, and the rest is water, right? So it's like the energy that you actually need to build muscle is not that high. That's why when you want to gain muscle, your calorie surplus shouldn't be like that high. But if you're doing body recomposition and you're just starting, you are gonna burn fat a lot. Like, you're gonna build a lot of lean tissue, right? So I would sometimes rather focusing on other goals, like getting stronger, like putting weight on the bar, maybe getting some PRs, being consistent at the gym, lifting weights, instead of thinking that I need to lose weight. Because, like I told you, like, it's very variable how much weight you will lose. It doesn't really reflect how much lean tissue you're gaining or how much fat you're actually losing. Because when I started lifting, like when I started powerlifting, that's when I actually adhered to a training plan. I was in and out of the gym for years, and I never really saw results in body composition because I was getting bored, right? So when I started doing powerlifting training and strength training, I actually adhered to a plan because I was seeing my PRs, and I was getting stronger every week or every couple of weeks. So that actually made me like care about it, like do hard training, like actually like push myself to failure on my accessories and stuff like that. And I started gaining muscle, and I started looking even before I cut all my calories, and I was having a trash diet, but I was training, like building muscle still, and people were still saying that I was losing weight, that I looked leaner, and I hadn't lost like any weight, right? But immediately when you start building muscle, some of that energy is gonna go to the muscle. So the muscle is like an energy sink, right? It needs glucose to fill up with the glycogen stores, which you need for training as well. So I would prioritize putting weight on the bar, getting stronger, like finding a setup of resistance training, of strength training that you enjoy, and just focusing on that instead of thinking like I need to do cardio, fasted cardio, or whatever. So another fat loss hack that I've done recently is, and I saw TNF doing this, and I call it the hamster mode. So you know how the hamsters get in like this little wheel and they run around and stuff. So what I would do to save some time, in the gym. And instead of doing like a whole cardio session after the gym, what I would do is during my rest times, I would just walk around the gym, just get my steps on. If you have like a step counter, like on a smartwatch or something like that, then you can easily track like some of the caloric usage that you're getting, right? So I would go in the gym because I move around in a car a lot right now. I'm in my car because I'm between patients, so I have some time to kill. But during the day, so I don't walk much, right? When I was working at a hospital, I was working during the shift, walking around between patients, like through the hallways of the hospital. I was getting like 8,000 steps a day or something like that, just by working, without even like going out to walk or anything like that. And right now, since I get in the car, go see a patient, I do their therapy. At the end of the day, I have like 1,500 steps, which is like nothing. It's like very, very sedentary. So doing that, I get to the gym between rest times, because my sessions at the gym are 2 hours plus, right? Because I have to do like deadlift and bench, and you have to load the bar, walk around the plates and stuff like that. You have to warm up to a certain weight, then I have to do my accessories, and on top of that, I had to do cardio at the end. So what I do now is between sets, when I rest, I walk. I like nonstop just walking, and it makes the time fly by like faster. Like I don't even realize I'm not looking at the clock. Just dreading the time, like just resting, doing nothing. It feels like the rest times are productive now, and I leave the gym earlier, and now I'm also using energy in that time. So I would recommend that. Trying that is really, really good. And then other thing that I would recommend is just tracking your calories. I know it's like easier said than done, but it's like Ben and we have a lot of clients that they actually don't track their calories because they say that they don't have time, stuff like that. It really doesn't take that much. It really doesn't. Like right now, there's a lot of apps that have like AI mode, and like I have an app right now. It's called Fitia. It's in Spanish. I don't know if it's in English, but it has an AI mode where I just tell it how much I ate and what I ate. And it's like a voice journal, and I say, hey Fitia, I ate for my breakfast. I had an energy bar from this brand. I had a bread. It was like this many grams, and I had like a sausage or whatever, and I had a protein shake. And then it registers everything, and like it's so easy. It takes like 2 minutes, 3 minutes like tops, like throughout the whole day. It's really, really easy. But once you start tracking what you eat, like actually like mindfully tracking everything you eat for a day or a week, you will see that you're eating way more than you thought. Like when I started tracking, I was like really dumbfounded by how much I ate, because I started tracking like my meals and stuff like that. And then I realized I wasn't tracking like my drinks. I wasn't tracking the oil that goes in the food. So I wasn't tracking the sauces that go in like the food. So it was like, dude, easily like 800 calories like on top of that. So it was like insane. So I would just track nutrition for a week or a couple of weeks and see like what changes can I make, like how can I reduce this, what can I replace with that. And another really, really useful tip is just adding a shit ton of like greens and vegetables and fruit to your diet, because it's really satiating, and like fiber is already good for you, but it's like there's only so much fruit that you can eat. Like for example, I would have like a bowl of yogurt and cereal, and it will be like 400 calories. And if you have this same bowl of yogurt, but instead you have it with berries, it's like 200 or like 150. It's just insane how many calories you can cut by adding fruit and greens. So it really helps with satiety, because it's like just more volume of food obviously is gonna be more filling, but it also helps with your micronutrition, because if you're only eating like protein bars and like protein shakes and just lean meat and like nothing else, your protein, I mean your micronutrients are gonna take a hit, and you're gonna have vitamin deficiencies, like iron deficiencies, uh, all this kind of stuff. So I will like fiber is really good for you. So I wouldn't like dismiss that. So yeah, hopefully like you can get some tips that can work for you to get leaner, lose some weight. I'm gonna keep at it because I would like to compete at maybe 105 category. So I'm on 116 right now. So I still have some weight to lose. People have told me like I shouldn't lose weight because I'm too tall. I'm 1 meter and 94 centimeters. So like I have the structure to be a super heavyweight on powerlifting. So I really should like gain weight in theory. But I feel like I'm healthier than ever, and I'm getting more muscle. I look better. I'm feeling pretty good with my physique. So that's I would say that's more important to me right now than chasing numbers in the gym. So right now I'm just gonna keep at it, feeling healthier, feeling good, being functional. So yeah, hopefully you can do the same. Find a setup that you like and implement these things to get healthier as well and get stronger and have some progress. So yeah, see you around, guys. Check out EVS if you can. Ben is taking one-on-one clients. He works directly with me. I supervise technique, injury prevention, and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, have a good one, guys. See you around. Bye.